Okay, hello. Today we're doing another tier list. This time it's a game that I'm certainly not addicted to. It is Fall Guys. I'm gonna be releasing a new tier list every Wednesday until I don't feel like doing it anymore. So, look forward to more tier lists every Wednesday for quite some time, hopefully. We'll see. Today, Fall Guys. I've played it a lot. I don't have a problem. I have played all of these games except for where oh, Jump Showdown. Yeah. Except for Jump Showdown, which I'm not sure if it's still in the game or not because I've put so many hours into it. But then again, it took me forever to actually get access to Jinxed. So maybe maybe it just hasn't come up. I don't know. I don't know if it got removed or not. But we'll get to that later. Let's get to these in order. Block Party is B tier. It's a fun game. There's a lot of chaos going on, but you're still in control. There's not much luck invested into it. I have to say it's pretty solid overall. Highly recommend. Sometimes you'll get screwed over by like a person holding on to you, but it doesn't happen all that often. And I like the fact that there's a timer, so like if you're good enough, you can get through, no problem. I'm pretty okay with that. Gate Crash is A tier. It's very satisfying to jump on top over the gates when it's going up. Just giving a good jump and dive to it is really nice. The little kebab things that go back and forth are kind of annoying, but that's pretty much it. It's also just really fun to make sure that you make that final jump at the end, which is really the most important part of it. If you can get past that, you can get through Gate Crash. It's not a problem. We enjoy it. Alright, DoorDash is going to be C tier. Originally, I liked it a lot more, but the more I play it, the more I'm like, it's okay. But it's very RNG heavy. It's very luck based. And I feel like that kind of takes away from the enjoyment of this one, because DoorDash doesn't have that skill level where if you're up front, you'll be able to make it through no problem. In fact, if you're up front, chances are you're going to get punished because at the very end, there's a 1 out of 3 chance you're going to guess the door correctly, which means there's a 2 out of 3 chance that you're going to have to move over to another door and hope that you can get through that crowd. But I will say that it is kind of funny to just see that giant crowd like all go and like try to squeeze through one door. It's like everybody's like a clown trying to fit into a clown car. It's fantastic. I have to say it's very amusing. So like humor levels, it's still pretty fun. I still have a smile on my face while playing DoorDash, regardless of the frustration. Egg Scramble's going into F tier. I hate that game. I hate most of the team games, to be honest, but I think Egg Scramble is particularly frustrating because there's very little comeback factor in it. If you can manage to pull out a golden egg out of an opponent's team, it does shake things up. So there is a chance for comeback, but not much. And overall, I just don't have as much enjoyment out of it. Fall Ball is kind of the opposite of Egg Scramble. I think it's a more enjoyable game when it comes to what the game consists of, but there's no comeback whatsoever. Like, you... that's not totally true. There have been comebacks in Fall Ball, but on unbalanced teams, good luck. And that's the unfortunate thing about Fall Ball is that like oftentimes you'll have 9 players left in the game and you think, okay, it's time to go to the final round. Nope. There's 9 of you. Only 5 or 4 of you are gonna make it to the end. So sorry, not sorry. So that is Fall Ball, and to have an unbalanced team, you're absolutely screwed. This is the one that punishes you the most. Fall Ball absolutely needs to require an even number of players because if your team has an extra player, good luck. Seriously, good luck with that. Fall Mountain. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I'm torn. I'm torn. I'll put Fall Mountain at the top of A tier. I think it's really enjoyable, but there are some randomization elements of it that make it frustrating. Particularly where the balls go and where they're gonna hit you. There is some control of it. It's overall a pretty fun one. It's the one mini game where I actually got a victory in. So if that says anything, that's pretty good. I have seen a lot of cheaters in particular on this one. And they're probably ones that I haven't even noticed, like, get to the top very quickly. I hope that Fall Guys is able to take care of that problem with so many people hacking the game. It's pretty awful. But Fall Mountain itself as a game, I think it's pretty fun. I think it's enjoyable. And you get a sense of, like, rush. It reminds me of, like, watching Nickelodeon Guts and watching the aggro crag and, like, that intimidating mountain that was just so high up, and you had to get to the top and everything. So I think from an atmospheric perspective, it's also really cool. Slime Climb, I'm also going to put it in C tier. I'll actually put it in the front of C tier because I think it's a well-designed game. It depends which round you're on to how enjoyable it's going to be. But the more I've played it, the more I've been liking it. At first, I totally hated it because it was so difficult. And it's still a really difficult game. Just take your time on it. But I don't hate it because it is incredibly satisfying when you actually do beat it. And I've gotten better at getting on top of the log rolls. The only hard part really is just getting past the walls that move in and out, particularly when there's other when there's like tight areas and there's a crowd of people, and it's very abusable to griefers that will actually grab you and then push you off. It happens quite a bit, more than I'd like to say, and they get away with it without a lot of risk. So I think that's Slime Climb's biggest problem, but it's still kind of fun. It's frustrating but fun. Fruit Shoot, I'm actually gonna throw Fruit Shoot up in S tier. I think Fruit Shoot is a fantastic game. At first I thought it was very RNG heavy, but now that I've learned about the strategy to go up the sides and use the pyramids to protect you, I've been having a much better time. It kind of avoids the log roll entirely, but I think that's kind of enjoyable. It's kind of enjoyable to do well and see yourself go ahead. So yeah, I like it a lot. Hit Parade is also A tier. Hit Parade is a very basic game, but it's fun. I think it's one of the better first round ones in particular. The kebab part is incredibly easy once you know to just go to the sides because they don't go all the way. I feel like they should patch that and they should have them go all the way because I think it is too easy to get up there. The wrecking balls are really your only way to lose. If you get hit by one of them, you're pretty much done. There is a chance for comeback, but it's not likely. But I still enjoy Hit Parade overall. It gives me a good wipeout feel, and it's a fun first rounder. Hexagon has to be the best in particular. Out of all of the mini games, I think Hexagon is a very strong case for best game. It's very original. It's a lot of fun. Even if you're bad at it, you still get enjoyment from running around, making tiles disappear. I haven't gotten good at the jumping part, which is why I've never won on Hexagon, but I have to say, the people that are really skilled are actually really skilled at it, and it makes me want to get better. So I got some respect for that one. Hoarders is going into D tier. It'll be our first D tier entry, and I have to say, Hoarders is kind of fun. There's a lot more of a comeback element to it, which is why I think it's a more interesting team game. But it also feels very out of your control as to what you can do with it because the balls just kind of go everywhere. So you kind of just gotta hope for the best when it comes to Hoarders. Things can change at the last second. It's pretty intense. And I think I've gone into a match with like 3 overtimes with Hoarders. It's absolutely insane, but pretty fun. Hoopsie Daisy, I think, is the best out of the team games. I think it's very enjoyable. I would actually put that above Block Party. I have a lot of fun with Hoopsie Daisy. There is a lot of RNG involved regarding where the rings spawn, but there's still strategy into it, like trying to figure out where your teammates are, which area you can cover. So I still think it's worth playing, and I don't get too upset when it comes up, even though it's a team game. Jinx, I don't really care for Jinx all that much. That goes into the D tier. It's just an overcrowded mess. There's a lot of people condensed into one area. I think the most satisfying thing about Jinx is that there's no pressure on you anymore. Once you do get Jinxed, you just have to try to run and grab people, which is admittedly kind of fun. But I think the thing that I like the most about Jinx is that it's kind of over with quickly. Like, it doesn't last all that long. And once you get the ball rolling, it like starts happening really quickly. But yeah, there's not much to Jinx. I don't particularly like it. I guess I'll put it ahead of Hoarders. I think it's better than Hoarders, but yeah, it's still kind of a frustrating game, and I don't look forward to it. Jump Club is okay. Jump Club is it's a decent game. You can run and jump and keep track, and it's usually pretty skill based, but sometimes the runs last longer than I want to, but still kind of fun. I think Jump Showdown is a better version of Jump Club. Actually, I'll put it right there. Jump Showdown is Jump Club, but the platforms disappear. I've never played it. I'd like to play it, but I'm not particularly upset if it got removed, because in particular I very much prefer Hexagon and Fall Mountain. So but the removal of the platforms, I do think, makes things a lot more interesting. And there's also like an extra lower bar, and they're all the same color, which can make things a little more tricky. Perfect Match is probably the worst game because it's so easy. They need to patch it. It actually needs to get patched because it's way too easy. Every time I play it, there's like 1 or 2 people, maybe 4, that fall. But yeah, like, you don't even have to memorize anything. You can just watch other people and you can get by it. It's stupid how easy it is. Rock and Roll is also pretty bad. I'm gonna put that in F tier, right above Perfect Match. I think it's the second worst out of all the games. In particular, people are under the impression that defense helps a lot, when really maybe 1, maybe 2 people playing defense can help, but too many people go after it. It's tough, and it's just a frustrating game overall. If you don't have good team compatibility, you are screwed. And you kind of have to get lucky that that the other teams will go after each other and not you, which sometimes happens. And it's not really that satisfying of a victory. Rollout, I think I'm going to put that on D tier. It's okay. It's suspenseful. It's kind of fun, but at the same time, I think it drags out way longer than it needs to be. I feel like they should speed things up earlier to get more people off, or at least add a timer, because with a timer, the game doesn't drag out forever. Dizzy Heights, I think, is also really fun. It's probably my second favorite out of all the games, because it's just so satisfying to go across the wheels. The only thing I don't like is that jump at the cliff at the top, because it gives you no indication that you have to jump. But other than that, like, once you memorize that down, I think Dizzy Heights is overall an incredibly solid game. Royal Fumble is not that fun to me. Where would I put it though? Yeah, I guess like top of D tier. It's probably the worst tail tag game. It's very frustrating. It's very I've seen hackers on that one too, and that is brutal when it happens. Completely sucks the fun out of the game. But in an honest Royal Fumble game, it's still kind of annoying. I will say that there is more control in it, but I don't think it's as satisfying for a tail tag victory. You pretty much just have to have the tail at the last second, and well, you could have the tail for like 97% of the game and still lose, and it just doesn't feel as fun. Seesaw is an okay game. I think I'll put it in C tier as well. I just think Seesaw is a complete and it's complete and utter chaos. It is an absolutely insane game, especially in the first round. I feel like the general public has gotten better at it, so I feel like there's been less frustration with it than there originally was, but it's still absolute chaos. You have to like hold your position more often than not, or try to get onto a different seesaw. There have been points where like I die on purpose just to be spawned on the other side so I can get onto a seesaw. I actually kind of like that as like part of the meta, so I don't necessarily mind it, but yeah, it can be frustrating. Tail tag, I think it's better than Royal Fumble. I would even like put it above Jump Club, just because it involves more chances to get the tail. I feel like things are more in your control when there's more people involved, and you can kind of handle things a little bit better. Team tail tag is kind of like regular tail tag. I would say that I would like just put it like right next to regular tail tag. I think it's an okay game. It's not particularly all that fun. I wish that teammates couldn't steal from each other, but maybe, you know, maybe it's better that it's part of the meta. It still kind of sucks, but at the same time, there are like a lot of elements that make it interesting as a team game, and it's better than most of the team games, so I think that's why I'm putting it up in C tier. Tiptoe I think is really fun. I think it's a very interesting game. I think it takes a lot of difficulty. I just wish that there were more rows at the end so you would encourage people to take a little bit more of a risk, because you have people that are just gathering around waiting for somebody to move or trying to push each other off. And I feel like if you just added like another row or two to the last area, you wouldn't have so many people worrying, and you'd have more people incentivized to actually take that gamble, which makes the game a whole lot more fun. It's not fun to just stand in one area and wait for a tile to eventually light up. The whirly gig, I have to say, is also particularly really fun. I would put that in S tier as well. You jump a lot, try to get through the wheels, and the timing of it, once you get it down, it is pretty difficult at first, but once you get it down, it becomes easier, and you just have to pay attention to everything. You have to get a good feel for timing. So I totally get it. I think it's really solid when it comes to what it sets out to achieve. I like that when you get hit by the propeller, you can sometimes get hit over the fence to advance to the next area. I think that is really cool. So yeah, I'm pretty fond of Whirligig. So this is my tier list for Fall Guys. You might have a different one, and it's totally cool. If you have something else, feel free to let me know in the comments. You can link your own tier list. You can add me on Twitter if you want to do that too. We're doing tier lists every Wednesday until I don't feel like it anymore. So hope to see you for the next one. Press the subscribe if you're interested, and bye-bye. I'll see y'all later.